العالمين الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق سيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Inshallah, before we start today, we're gonna have some few reminders. So this class is fifth class. So fifth class means the local rules with the specific details, means in the Sharia, right? And there is a difference between learning the rules and the fatwa and the taqwa. So learning the rules, basically we learn the rules different, of the different things, the different matters in our life, so we know how to validate our worship, right? How to make them valid. So the fatwa is a specific consultation. It's a custom consultation for the person. So some person has some situation, so he has a fatwa, so he asks the sheikh or whatnot. But this halaqah is not for that, right? It's just for studying or learning the local rules of the Sharia, right? And the taqwa, is to avoid anything, some scholars said it's a haram, right? So the more you can do that, the more taqwa you have. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. Have taqwa as much as you can. And the other thing is the Sharia of the Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descended to us to be to assimilate or to suit everyone, the people in the whole world, with their different nationalities, different thoughts, different capabilities, different situations, or circumstances. So the Sharia came to, to be suitable for everyone. So whatever something that all the scholars said about it, it's fard or haram or halal, so we have to follow. Like whatever there is a consensus or something, we need to follow. We have to follow. So, and whatever the scholars have different thoughts about it, so it's okay to follow any of the opinion, right? And no one can blame the other, the other people who have the, who use the different opinion. Okay, so all are acceptable, as we explained before. All the opinions of the scholars could be right. We explained this before. How is that possible? And the other thing is, inshallah, we'll have the class. It's usually 30 minutes or less, and then we have at the end we have 5 minutes if someone has a question or comment, inshallah. So if someone has a question, just keep it to the end, inshallah. So in the last class we talked about the Ṭahārah, the meaning of Ṭahārah. Ṭahārah is two types. One type is to remove the physical impurities, and the other type remove or lift the status of the ritual impurity, which is called in Arabic al-hadath al-asghar and al-hadath al-akbar. The things that make the wudu, obligatory, and the things that make the ghusl obligatory. And we started with the first type, which is removing the physical impurities. We talk about different types of najasat. So there is najasat in humans and najasat of animals. And in the humans, we said there are 10 things coming out of the.
In the middle of the halaqah, just keep the questions to the end, because the online viewers.
Yeah, we just mentioned that. Okay, so there are 10 things coming out of the human are considered pure. The air, basically the breath, the wind, when someone pass gas, the sweat, ears, mucus, bulgum, and the milk which coming out of the woman, and the semen, and the vaginal discharges. What else? Yeah, and the saliva, right? I hope so there are 10 things are pure, coming out of the human are pure, and 7 things coming out of the human are najasat, are considered najasat, impurities. We mentioned the urine, stool, the blood of al-haid and nifas, and Muhammad, so mentioned that, and the blood. We said this is according to Shafi'iyah, but some other, there are different thoughts. And long story short, if the blood is, we have a little bit of blood, it's acceptable to pray with it. And someone has bleeding in his nose or something from his face or his gums or anything in this nature, it's acceptable to pray with it. And the other two things are the other three things are pre-seminal fluids and prostatal fluids, and the last thing is vomit. Right? These are the 7 things, are considered najasat. Najasat means you have to purify yourself, your clothes, your body, the place from them before you pray, basically, right? And for the animals, we mentioned all the animals, or the animals which we can eat, the dhabiha, so are pure, right? When they are living, or even after we slaughter them, everything on them, everything comes out of them is pure. And all the living animals are pure except for the pig and the dog. We mentioned different thoughts about it, but according to Ash-Shafi'i, it's najas, so they are najas. And we talk about 4 questions about the dogs. We discussed this last week. And also we talk about any animals from the water are pure, whether they are living or dead, doesn't matter. And yeah, this is about what we discussed last week. So some few things. So the things that we cut from the animal. So according to Ash-Shafi'i, anything we cut from the animal is dead, and it's najas. Like for instance, the ivory we cut from the elephant, so it's considered najas. All the other scholars said it's okay. So if it's easy for you, follow Shafi'i. If it's not, some people they have the dashboard in the car is ivory, or they use it for some other things. The fur of the fox. Some people will use it as a coat or something. So the way to the solution for that. So it's either you don't have to follow a Shafi'i in this point, or if it's possible to take off that coat in the time of the prayer, especially for it's especially used by the ladies, right? So you can do that to avoid any any doubts in that. After that, we what is impure in the plants. So and the direct questions and the direct answer in that is everything. All the plants are pure, according to all the scholars. And how about the inanimate objects? The solid objects, they are all pure, except if we know that it's coming from something like freezing urine or something. So if we touch it, for example, so if it's already solid, that means it's dry. And if our hand is dry, so the najasa or the impurity didn't transfer to us, right? Or to our clothes or whatnot. If something is wet, it's either us or the object. So the najasa already transferred to us and we have to purify ourselves from that, right? And one thing so is also impure is the wine or alcohol. Okay, alcohol is impure, najas. If you know something stain of alcohol come to our body, we have to wash it. But it's just alcohol, the wine, not the ethanol. Okay, so the ethanol is good. Um, so now we are going to talk about the 10 means of purification. 10 things that we use for Ṭahārah to purify, ourselves or purify the objects around us. So the first and foremost is the water. So the water, according to all the scholars, no اختلاف, no objections at all. The water can purify anything. So we can use the water to purify our body, our clothes, the place, any object, get any najasa. So we can purify it with the water. Some urine, someone urinate in the floor, so we wash it with the water. Some najasa came to the rug, we wash it with the water. So the water, can purify all of this. And this is according to all the scholars. And this is the best way to use, for purification, right? The second is tanning. Tanning is the process we do with the skin of the animals to make it pure. So we're not gonna describe how it is, but this is the meaning of it. So in Arabic, it's called ad-dibagh. Ad-dibagh or tanning, according to Shafi'i, for any skin for any animal, make it pure. Even that animal was from among the animals that we cannot eat, or it's a dead animal, so we still can purify it with the tanning process. Okay, the dibagh. This is only according to Shafi'i, right? The third thing is gouging or digging. Let's say, and this is for the materials that are, it's not liquid and it's not solid. It's like semi-liquid. We can say semi-liquid. It's like the texture is a bit thick, like the ghee, the honey. All of this, anything in this nature. So if some object fall in any of these things, so how to make it pure? By gouging, meaning to dig around it and throw everything away and keep keep the rest of the pot or the jar or whatever it is. So, and this is according to one incident happened at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. A rat fall in some ghee, so the Prophet ﷺ told them to remove the ghee around the rat and throw it away and keep the remaining of the ghee. But if the ghee is melt or it's something melt, خلاص, we throw the whole thing. It's all impurified by, it's impacted by the najasa because of the, of the object of najasa that came to it, because it's liquid. But if it's not liquid or it's not very liquid like the ghee, like the honey, so we can use this way to make it pure. So the fourth way of purifying is boiling. And this is according to Shafi'i and Abu Hanifa. So example, if someone is cooking some meat and has some water and some, drops of something impure fall in that pot. So the other scholar said, just khalas, throw it away. But Abu Hanifa, he said, you can keep, boiling it until you recognize the impure object. If it comes, on the top, so you take it and throw it away. Shafi'i said you can keep boiling it many times until you feel it's cleared out. It's pure, and you can then use it, to eat or whatever. But so as we said again, so the fiqh is to fit the capabilities of everyone, all the people. So for us, just throw it away. I mean, it's not worth, right? But for some other people, it might worth it. The fifth way is wiping, and this is especially for the glossy materials. So Ash-Shafi'i said wiping doesn't work, but the other said it's okay. So glossy materials like what? Like the stainless steel, like the ceramic, porcelain, marble, all of these surfaces. So if something impure fall into them, so you can purify it by wiping. So according to Imam Malik, Shafi'i said no. Shafi'i and Ahmad ibn Hanbal, they said, you cannot do that. Just use the water. So the water is the only thing work, these kind of things, according to Shafi'i. But Imam Malik make it, he has it, he has an easier way. So if you are stuck and you wipe it, so may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give mercy to Imam Malik, right? So this is only for the glossy materials, the materials that have, glossiness, not all the other materials, that are like reflective surfaces, glass, stainless steel, as we mentioned, ceramic, and all of this stuff. So if some najasa fall into them, some urine, some blood, something, some vomit, so they said you can wipe it, but the Shafi'i said you have to wash it. So number 6, scrubbing or scratching. So, and this is the example for this is, and also this, according to Imam Shafi'i, he doesn't accept this way. So when this could happen, so if someone is walking and some impure object like poops of a dog or something stuck in his shoes, so how can he purify it? How can he make it pure? So by just scraping it, in the ground, and make sure that this object went away. And that all applies for the solid objects. But if it's something liquid, like a urine or something, you have to wash it. Like if something liquid and najas came to the shoes, you have to wash it. Everyone said you have to wash it. But if it's something solid, you can just scrub it or scratch it in the ground until you make sure that it's clean. So we usually when we pray, we take off our shoes. That's not a problem. But in some situation, someone working in the army or something, he cannot take off his shoes, and he got something impure stuck in his shoes. So in this case, he can just scrap it and pray, according to Imam Malik, rahimahullah. Number 7 is drying. So, and this is for the ground. Okay, so the ground, so something fall in the ground, some najas fell in the ground, let's say, and over the time it became dry. So Imam Malik say it's pure. Shafi'i said you still have to wash it, even if it's dry. But as we said, Imam Malik and also Abu Hanifa said you can. So if it's dry, if the ground became dry, over the time, alas, it's okay. And this is a scholar to use this, this opinion, for Mina. Mina, the land of Mina, in when you go for Hajj, is very tight, for all the people, right? And we have the camps, and it's furnished and whatnot. But for some people, or until today, some people still sleep in the ground outside, in the sand. And it used to be like this. So, and there is very high possibility that may someone relieve himself on some spot, and this spot you step on it or pray on it. So it could happen. So the scholar said it's okay. So it's pure as long as it doesn't. There is no no stain or no nothing, no sign that there is a najasa here. So it's already dry and it's already gone. Plus, he said it's okay. So it becomes pure. So the eighth thing is the we can call it the accumulation or consuming. How is that? What is that? So if a little bit of najasa came to or fell into a big amount of water, big amount of water, so it doesn't make the water impure according to Shafi'i. Examples: so the ocean, the sea, is always pure. This is everyone agrees on that. Prophet ﷺ said a clear hadith about the water, and I mean the ocean and the sea. So all the scholars agrees the sea and the rivers, all these water surfaces are pure. But Imam Shafi'i said if any amount of water is 200 liters or more, and it got affected by impure object, as long as the water doesn't look affected, doesn't seem to be affected, like there is no smell, there is no color, so we can use it. Okay, we can use it to make wudu. Let's say that bad boy went to the swimming pool and he urinated, right? So, but the pool like doesn't seem to be affected. Like the smell of the pool is the same, the color is the same, so the water is pure. Okay. If you don't know, you don't know. But if you know, still, according to Shafi'i, is the water is still pure. Okay. And we are going to talk about the types of water. So not every pure water we can make wudu with. Like the water of the pool, because it has chlorine and some other chemicals that affect the nature of the water, so we can make wudu with it. But we can go and swim and enjoy the water, right? So according to Shafi'i, as we mentioned, so that makes the water. I mean, that doesn't make the water najas if some small object najas fell into the water, but it didn't affect the features of the water, right? So, and he mentioned 200 liters or more. So how did he come up with this number? According to Prophet ﷺ, he said قلتين أو أكثر. So قلتين يعني two قلة. This is what is قلة. So it's not, we are not familiar with this unit, even us, Arab. But at that time they used to have this unit, and when they do the math, so it equals 197 liters and some fractions. So we said 200 liters. Number 9 is dissolving or chemical converting to the object. And according to Ash-Shafi'i, that only applies for the wine or the alcohol. If it was dissolved, it converted, so it becomes pure. Okay. However, according to all the other three schools, it applies to everything, not only the wine or the alcohol. So, like in our life, so a very good example is the pig, right? The pig is impure, like, and the gelatin of the gelatin of the pig or the pork, it's used in many medicines and many makeup stuff for the ladies, and the toothpaste and all of this stuff. So according to Abu Hanifa, Malik, and some of the Hanbali, so as long as it's dissolved and converted chemically, so we can use it. So therefore, we can use these vitamins, these multivitamins, with the gelatin and all the other stuff. According to Shafi'i, no, we cannot use. So if you can find like the pectin as a substitute, that's good. If not, the other madahib, they said already, they become pure, as long as they get chemical conversion. What else? What other good example of that? The water treatment. So the sewer water is now being treated, and they use it for irrigation, right? To irrigate the plants and whatnot. So they use it nowadays, right? So can we use it? Yes, we can. Can we use it for as a pure water? We can use it, but don't drink it. It's not healthy anyway. So we don't drink it, but we can use it. We don't use it for cooking. Don't drink it, but we can use it for washing, for wudu, and for other uses like irrigating for the plants and whatnot. The last thing, number 10, is the burning. So in back home, they collect the trash and burn it, and the smoke comes out of it. So we don't know the trash, whether it has an impure object, and most likely it does, right? So what about the smoke comes out of that trash? If you smell it, if you have it in your clothes, so it's pure. Of course, you need to take a shower if you not feel good, but it's pure. You can pray with your clothes, affected by that smoking, because that burning already purify the purify the object. So the smoke comes out of it. Yes, it smells bad and it's not good for the environment, but it's pure. So if it comes to your clothes or you got the smell, so it's okay. You are still pure. Um, one more detail about the water itself, and we're gonna come back to the types of water, inshallah, next class. But we can. So the Shafi'i is more strict in this topic about which water to use to purification. So he said it has to be a pure water, not water with soap or water with anything else. However, the other said it's okay. But if you wash your hand with soap and then water, according to everybody, it's okay, even the Shafi'i. But if the water itself you are using, like you are using water in a pot, and that water is a mix. It's not really water; it's mix of water and soap or water or anything else. So you have to be mindful of that, and we are gonna come back to the details, inshallah, in the next class. Inshallah. Any questions?
Okay, so my first question is Jazakallah khair for the talk. that let's say if you are wearing a piece of garment and some jasa comes on it, do you have to wash the entire garment or just that,
No, just the spot.
just the spot?
When you got the najas, the object, you wash that spot only.
You don't have to wash the entire piece.
No, you don't have to.
Same thing with carpets, you know, some
Same thing with carpet, with
kids, you know, they okay. And I always have had doubts of washing machines, like you know how the purity works in that.
Mhm.
Because when the water comes in, it's not like a flowing water. Just you know, apparently, you know, there's a hadith that the flowing water is the one which is pure water. So you know, when the water comes in, it's cut off. It mixes with dirty clothes, then it comes out. Then another cycle comes in, it washes the clothes, and that comes out. Is that in Islamic sense? Is that considered pure? Pure?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pure. And you remind me of a point we didn't mention before, is that one of the key differences between the Ṭahārah or the purification from the physical najasa versus the Ṭahārah we know from the hadath, like by wudu or the ghusl. So the first type, which we are discussing right now, so we don't have to have intention, like we don't have to have niyyah of of making the clothes or the body tahir. So the niyyah is not a requisite, is not required. Like if you put your clothes which has some impurity, some najasa in the in the basket, and then so someone took all of the clothes and put them together in the washing machine, so it's all good. So you don't have to have the intention of purifying the najas.
One last question, sorry. So a lot of times I go to somebody's house and let's say in the powder room. You know, powder rooms are usually very small. It's a small bathroom. There's the toilet and then the sink is right in front of it, and in between there's a small foot mat. So if there's no slippers or anything like that, and you step barefoot on that foot mat, you know, sometimes you flush the toilet. There's vapors that come out. There's sometimes maybe somebody dropped something over there which is not pure. So if that foot mat is dry, is that considered pure?
Yeah, if it's dry,
Even if it's a piece of garment and cloth or anything like that,
right.
It will be considered pure.
So okay. So one thing is, if your thought is it's most likely impacted by the urine, okay, that's another thing. But if you are not sure, so you try your best to to close the lid before you flush or something. So and you are pretty sure that it's pure, but there is some, okay, so it's pure. Okay, as long as we are not sure, it's pure. If you're not sure, it's pure. But if most likely it has something impure, so this is when you can consider it impure. However, if it's something dry and you step on it and your feet is dry, so again the najasa didn't transfer.
That is correct. Yeah. My main concern is, you know, you make wudu and then you're putting your like wet feet on that mat.
Yeah. So the key point is, just take your cautions to make sure it remains pure by closing the lid, and you don't have to go further. You don't have to make it.
My main concern was if you were somebody else's house. Yes, in your own house, you know what's going on. In somebody else's house, and if there's no slippers in the bathroom, there's only that.
Yeah, you don't ask. So you don't ask the host, and you consider it's pure, unless you know something about the host. He doesn't care about purity or whatnot. But otherwise, you consider everything is pure, unless otherwise is the direct evidence of it's impure. Sayyidina Umar, Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu, was working with someone, and some water, fell on them, so on their clothes, while they were going for prayer. So the other person stopped to ask, is it pure or not? Umar ibn Khattab stopped him. Why you want to ask? So it's pure, unless there is some sign says it's not pure, like the smell, the look, whatever. But otherwise, you don't have to ask. So
Yes, I wanted to make sure this is said anything is coming from the plant that is halal. We can eat, right? So the plant is the marijuana, the tree that is the leaves is coming. So that
so
how we
we are talking about being tahir or not. So the marijuana or any plant that works as a drug. So if you hold it, it's tahir, it's pure, but you cannot have it because it causes like it has a similar effect to the wine or whatever. So it's haram because of that. If you smoke it or take it, so if it will cause what's it called? Like the similar effect to the alcohol, so it's haram because of that. But you can hold it, put it from place to another. It's tahir, it's pure.
other question might be sorry. Another one is the animal slaughtering the animal. So about the chicken or cow. So this is halal for us. So if we don't know the slaughtering process of slaughtering, so that's considered halal.
Okay, so that's so that's a different. You're talking about halal to eat it, right? So that's a long topic, and it has some differences. We can talk about it, in another time, inshallah.
Okay, I have a question about how to purify. So, is it proven from Sunnah that, like, in the bathroom when we like urinate or defecate, we Muslims use water? That Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used water, and along with that, he used some rocks or
Yeah.
some. So we can, like, in this day and age, we can use water, and along with that, to dry it with toilet paper is going to serve the same purpose.
Okay, so we are gonna also
I'm
discuss
sorry.
it, but we are gonna make it very short. So the best way, the best, like 10 out of 10, to use the tissue or the toilet paper and the water. So
Both of
the
them.
like the toilet paper and the water. I mean, and then the water. Okay, this is 10 out of 10. And then the water itself is sufficient. And if you are stuck, you can use a tissue. But be careful. So the tissue or the toilet paper you are using, make sure you keep folding it till you make sure it's something solid, not not like that. So even if you use too many, but you have to make sure it to make it like a stone or pebble, so it's not that hard, not that solid, but at least something you feel it's called, so a solid item, so you can call it a solid item, so and then you can use it.
So, okay, one question I think Dr. Wasim can tell us better. My question is, like, the medical reasons. Now we know that water is so important to protect from bacterial infection. Like those people who don't use water, like there are bacteria which are the normal flora if they are in there, but if they come out, they cause infection and water washes it away. So, but those people who use water, they protect from bacterial infection, but when they dry it with toilet paper along with it, they get protected from fungal infection, right? Like too much moisture. Dr. Wasim can tell it better, right?
Very good point, Dr. Hafiz. I mean, I think the Prophet and the teachings,
Yeah.
now scientific things are coming now, and whatever we learned, science is catching up. So whatever we learned, that is more important.
Yeah.
Science is telling us all the details.
That's correct.
Okay. So better to use both of them, water and toilet paper, right?
Yes, this is the best to use both. Yani even the like at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, they would use the water and the istijmar, like the pebbles and or the stones. They will use.
You can only not to change or
Yes, yeah. We're gonna in the sky, yeah.
Brother, you mentioned about gelatin.
Yeah.
Can it be consumed? You mentioned it can be.
Can be. Yeah.
Difference of opinion on.
So according to Abu Hanifa,
Okay.
Abu Hanifa, Maliki, Imam Malik, and some Hanbalis, some
They say consume it.
yeah, you can consume.
You
And
know,
it's
the
Shafi'i said no.
Don't consume
Yes.
No, okay, is it? Yes, I understand. This is a different topic. It's just that now we're discussing this gelatin stuff. Is there like a 2% marker that if you see something less than 2%, then that's okay? Have you heard something like that before, or
No, I don't know.
okay?
And brother, was it just for medical use, or you can use it general? Like candy comes with gelatin, for example, like gummy bears, right?
Yeah, I mean, according to them, you
No,
can.
according to Hanafi.
Yes, you can.
Most of the Hanafis I know they don't use gelatin.
Yeah,
I
I
just
don't
wanna let-
Pakistan is all
They're very strict on
Yeah,
that.
but I think what comes to the point is, I think Sheikh was talking about the chemistry. If the chemistry gets changed,
gelatin is
I
already
think
changed.
Brother Saad can explain it better. If the chemistry gets changed, the things become totally a different thing, right? It does not remain the same.
But
Like, for
gelatin is
example,
already
carbohydrate,
changed.
when it converts into alcohol, totally different thing, right?
And a question on alcohol: when people put alcohol in baking, like cooking or some kind of cakes have alcohol in the recipe, what is the opinion on it? Because it is converting, right?
Yeah. So if you acquire it, so the problem with the wine or alcohol, so you cannot drink it, you cannot hold it, you cannot use it. So all of this you can't. So that's why if you use it for cooking, it's already haram because you are using it. You bought it, so you cannot bought it, you cannot sell it, you cannot use it, you cannot hold it,
So technically,
you cannot drink it. Yeah, technically no. So, but the only thing for the alcohol, if it was dissolved and if you ate it without knowing, that's another thing. But if you know that this restaurant use alcohol for cooking, it's haram.
So, Sheikh, one more question because of this point he raised. I read that there is a hadith, and you can clarify it. If somebody's not drinking alcohol and just eating normal food and normal things like orange juice or something, it is haram to sit on a table where other person is drinking alcohol.
Yeah,
That's true, right?
yeah.
Like somebody says, "Oh, I'm going to the bar. I don't drink. I just hang out with people." It is still haram, right? Because the other people they are drinking.
Lots of people are drinking alcohol. People sitting by my side. So I can't buy that.
This is the medicine. This is not the wine. So this is pure. There's no problem with it.
Don't drink that.
There's not a difference of opinion that according to some alcohol drinking is haram, but alcohol itself is not najas, or everybody agrees that it's najas.
I'm not sure if there is a different opinion, but according to what I know, Shafi'i at least and some other scholars, maybe the Jumhur or the majority said it's haram. I'm not sure if someone else said it's